All right, everybody back. We've got 6 minutes. So, Linda, I guess we are ready to do Nature Quest.
All right. The first thing I want to say is that last week when you guys did citizen science, community science with Tanya, when I was going through that training, it was amazing and it really caught my eye. And I was just so enthralled with it that I immediately went out and started to find things to share and all of that. I'm trying to find, okay. Can y'all see my iNaturalist page?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the first picture that I ever took in iNaturalist. And it's a red-shouldered hawk, and it's research grade. I don't know that it's actually the first one I took, but it's the first one I submitted. And it was in my yard, and I was so thrilled. And then fast forward, I got a black-chin hummingbird, a leafcutter ant, which was so exciting because there were actually people messaging me through iNaturalist asking me where I saw this leafcutter ant, even though I think I obscured it or something. And then, of course, the typical paintbrush. But if you'll notice, I can go up here and search under my observations. Oh, sorry, it didn't let me do my observations. At any rate, I do have an eagle. Now, this right here is my most recent picture that I submitted. I haven't called it anything yet. I was at my daughter's house, and she's hatching chickens, and this is a little chicken that hatched. So it's not wild. It is going to be cultivated, captive cultivated, but I've had so much fun with this. So I'm going to switch over to using iNaturalist. You already got information on using iNaturalist. Can you guys see it? Okay. But I wanted to go through this real quick in case, you know, there were any questions or just review real quick. As a teacher, I like reteach. So I think you all have iNaturalist on your mobile device. Maybe one or two of you don't have that, but you can still do iNaturalist on your desktop or laptop. So if you have a camera that you can transfer pictures to your desktop or laptop, you can still do iNaturalist. Create your account. Okay, some things about observing. When you're taking pictures, make sure that the subject is, you know, identifiable. Is it too far away? Is it too small? Is it out of focus? If you can hold it in your hand to take the picture, that would be good, but probably not with the tarantula. You know, make sure it's something safe. If you're trying to take a picture of a bee on an Engelmann daisy, make sure that it's clear in your comments what your focus is. Is it the bee or the flower? All right, here's some pictures that I've taken that are not great things to submit to iNaturalist. Starting in the upper left-hand corner, I took that out of the window of my car, and there's so many other wildflowers. It's pretty easy to see it's the white ones that I was after, but not really. The bird, you can probably tell what it is, but it's blurry, it's up in the corner. Then continuing around to the right, that is a deer in there, but can you tell if it's a whitetail or a mule deer? There's all the trees and stuff in the way. In the middle at the bottom, there's a picture of my dog's leg with several different flowers, you know, some blue bonnets, other. So what is the subject of the picture? It's hard to tell. And then the bottom right, left, you can kind of tell what it is, but obviously my camera made the background sharper than the foreground. So those are not great pictures to submit. All right, with plants especially, you may not be able to tell what it is just from a single picture. For example, with a plant, you're going to want under the leaf, on top of the leaf, the fruit, the flower, as many different parts of it as you can get to help identify it. And the same thing with some bugs and different things like that. I saw a picture of an ant that I thought, oh, that's a fire ant. And I was wrong. It was a carpenter ant. Oh, well, because there wasn't enough close-ups of the ant. So here are two different views of the same observation. I don't know if this is really any more helpful though, because it still gets pretty much the same field markings. On this one, I found a plant in my garden that I did not plant. I didn't know what it was. I wanted to find out what it was. So the question comes up, is this cultivated or is it wild? Well, according to iNaturalist, because I didn't plant it in my garden and it came up on its own, it is wild. And iNaturalist came up with, okay, that's a hyacinth. It has not been confirmed by anybody, but that's what I'm going with right now. So a lot of people want to go out and take a picture of their dog or that little chicken that got hatched, and those are valid. Just make sure and mark them captive cultivated before you upload them, because they don't have as much value to the iNaturalist community. And that's a good way to start practicing using iNaturalist. Paying attention to the metadata. If you're using iNaturalist with your phone, you can set the correct time zone and the location settings so that when you upload to iNaturalist, it will automatically put that information in. I was having problem with BioBlitz that we were doing, that somebody's pictures were not showing up. And it turned out that their time zone was set differently. So once I took out the time zone and the exact time, the pictures showed up. But if you're having trouble with the date and time and the location showing up, check that on your device. If it's not showing up when you upload it, you're going to have to go in and put that information in yourself. All right, if you have an iPhone, you're going to click on Observe. You're going to add pictures as evidence, and you can put more than one picture in your observation. Just keep adding pictures. Then click on What did you see? iNaturalist is going to come up with a list of what it thinks you saw, but I will tell you the picture of the chicken that I took, the baby chick that just hatched, iNaturalist thought it was a mouse. So it's not always 100% right. Also, make sure the date and time and location are marked. And then save your observations. You'll notice right here it says projects. You guys are going to be involved in a project that I set up. because just to try out using iNaturalist, and it's going to be our little tiny BioBlitz. Then you press upload. You check back regularly to see who has commented or agreed or disagreed with your observation with what it is. All right, from an Android, you're going to start it with the plus sign that's down in the lower right-hand corner. Add the pictures, choose what you saw. You can add any notes, where you saw it, when you saw it. Again, there's a place for projects, and there's the check mark up here is how you save it. Now with the location, you'll find that it can show a very big location, and you can shrink that down, and you can enlarge it. You can do all kinds of things with location. Then with an Android, you click sync one observation. Now, you don't have to have it set up to automatically sync the observations that you're making. Say you're out in the field and you don't want your phone to be using up all your data. You can set it to do the syncing of the observations later when you get home and you have Wi-Fi. Or one of the things that I have done is go out with my camera and I'll make a observation under iNaturalist without syncing it, just so it will get the metadata, the date, the time, location. And then later I will upload the pictures. Okay, so from my phone, this is how it looks. These observations are my most recent observations. Still Android. I don't have a picture of how to do it from the iPhone, but when you're adding the observation, you can take a picture right then and there from iNaturalist. You can choose an image that's on your phone, or you can record sound or choose a sound that you've recorded. That's important if you hear a bird and you want to identify it, but you can't find the bird. Okay, so my little chicken that I took the picture of, is it captive or cultivated? I'm going to click this box here. Shows the date, the location, visibility, open. Now this happens to be my daughter's house, so I might want to obscure the location. And you can see that as soon as I clicked on what did you see, it came up with house mouse, black rat, brown rat, Carolina wren, southern flannel moth, and house sparrow. And I said, no, it's a chicken. And then when I have it the way I want it, I click the check mark. You can add it to a project, and we'll go over projects in a moment. All right. If you go to projects, you can select what project you want to include it in. I'm a member of Birds of Texas and Herps of Texas. So if I get pictures of any birds or herps, they actually automatically go into those projects. Down at the bottom, I created a test project that a lot of us joined and tried out so that I could learn how to create a BioBlitz. Coming up at Mother Neff State Park will be a Central Texas Master Naturalist BioBlitz. And if you make observations there, your observations will automatically go into this project if you're there at Mother Neff when you make the observation. The second one down, CTMN Training Nature Challenge. That's the one that you guys are going to be using, and all you have to do is click on that project and join it. The reason I have it set up for just the people who join the project is so it won't be just anybody off the street who's joining our challenge, but it's just for the 17 of you guys. So on an Android, there's 3 bars, and you click on that and you choose projects. For an iPhone, in the lower right-hand corner, there's more. And for both, then you choose projects. If you want to do that now while we're going over it, you're welcome to do that. You're going to select the CTMN Trainee Nature Challenge. You can search on it by clicking on the magnifying glass and start typing in CTMN, and you should be able to find it, and then you click on join. Now, once you've joined the project, you can go to that project and check it out whenever you want. You can see your observations that have been included, and you can see your classmates' observations. In a week or two, we're going to have a presentation where you get to choose 1 or 2 of your best observations and present it to the rest of the class. It will be contained in this project. All right. If you are using a camera, or for any other reason, you're using a laptop or a desktop, you just go to inaturalist.org and you click upload from your home page. That gets you to a big page where you can actually upload several observations all at once, or you can upload 1 or 2 observations. You can combine them together. You can, if you did like 100 different observations all at Mother Neff, you can mass edit the location. There's a lot that you can do with your computer that you can't do on your app. Okay, then we get to identifying observations. Not only do we want to observe things, but we want to identify the things that we can. I am not a bird expert. I am not a bug expert, but we do have people in our chapter who are. So when you get into the desktop version, or even on your app, you can click on observations and identify them. You don't want to say, oh yeah, I think that is a cardinal, if you don't have enough information to really be confident that it is. However, if you're sure that's a cardinal, then identify it as a cardinal. As time goes on, other people will also put their identifications in. If you get 2 people who agree on the identification and the person who placed the observation agrees, it becomes research grade, which I think that's just cool. All right, so again, please do not simply agree with an ID that somebody else has made without confirming that you understand how to identify that taxon. If you disagree, the best thing to do is add your identification and your reason for disagreeing. Okay, so how do you identify? You go to from any page, you go to identify, and this is on your laptop or desktop. You can set filters of what you want to identify. Otherwise, you're going to get identifications from all over the world. So you can decide, I want to identify birds. I want to identify things from Texas. I want to identify things in this particular project. I want to identify things from this person. So you can filter those types of things in iNaturalist. So this is how mine looked when I clicked on identify. And I'm looking at the very first picture on the upper left-hand corner. If I know for certain that that's a black-headed gull, I can just click agree. Here's a waxwing. Is it a Bohemian waxwing? I don't know. I'm skipping it. Okay. So these are all just different species, different things. When I finish this page, I can click on reviewed and go to the next page and continue identifying. Now, you need to identify for at least a half an hour for it to count in iNaturalist for hours, service hours. When we do the Mother Neff BioBlitz, you can get up to 8 volunteer service hours for that project, either making observations or identifying observations. All right. Last year, when we first started the Nature Quest, I made my observation. This is a Coda Mundi. But instead of doing it on iNaturalist, everyone just sent me their best pictures, and I made a slideshow of them. So this is last year's slideshow. Carol Adcock, Kellyanne Blanchard, during the presentation, each student talked about their observation and what it was and how they got the picture. It was really interesting because there were some pictures that somebody went out and looked all day for pictures, and then when they got home, found the best one right on their garage door. I love this, but I love owls, so there you go. Thick-eyed beetle. This poor little butterfly had issues. Milkweed. I love this picture. It's very artistic. This one was a little bit scary. Do you see the snake? Three pictures of the same organism. Some of our students last year couldn't decide on one, and they sent me several, so I limited them to 3. But the spill bug for if you wanted to know. And that was last year's thing. All right, this is what, if you go to this Central Texas Master Naturalist Trainee Challenge, what it's going to look like, so you know you're in the right place. It starts today and it goes through May 25th. So you have that much time to get in your observations. The next show and tell, those who are ready can do their show and tell. Are there any questions?
No questions on the chat, so if you have one, just unmute and speak up.
Am I correct to understand that you want 3 observations? Is that the goal?
You can put in as many observations as you like. When
Okay.
it's your turn to present your observations, you should probably choose no more than 3.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
We can start adding those observations today.
You can.
Is this limited to students or can regular members also participate?
You're welcome to participate too. You have to join the project to participate for this particular one, but any Central Texas Master Naturalist can join and enjoy.
And I have found that it's amazing what you will see once you start slowing down a little bit and looking here and there and in the grass and on the tree. You see a lot of stuff that we don't see in our busy lives every day.
And Zoe made a good point. As a master naturalist, I get a lot of people who come to me and say, I saw this thing. It looked like this. You're a master naturalist. You need to tell me what it is. And my first question will be, did you get a picture of it? Let's find out. Okay, well, we went a little bit long for Dale, a little bit short for me. It kind of made up the time. But if everybody understands, go ahead and just start doing it. When you are ready to present, email me and if you want to go the first round, there's 2 rounds of presentations. So if you're ready on the first round, just email me and I'll make sure that I put you on the list when it's time to present your iNaturalist findings. I see a confused look. Okay, so I need to look at the schedule to see what day. Okay, April 20th is the first day that we're going to do Nature Quest show and tell. And we've got a half an hour to do that. So everybody is going to do it at least once. If you're ready on the 20th, just email me and I will put you on my agenda for your portion of the show and tell. The second opportunity for that is May 25th. So if you're not ready until May 25th, that's fine. Did that clear things up a little bit? All right, thank you.
Oops.